Kyle Schultz signed a training camp agreement with the Detroit Dragons. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm good, real good.
Good. Keeping safe through everything?
Yeah, just doing what we can,
Yeah, it's quite the time. Unfortunately, we've had to postpone this year, which has been a blessing in disguise for some guys that needed some more time to train. But luckily, we had your support of the players, the sponsors, and the fans, and it just gave us more time to become even bigger and stronger. So you doing some work during this to get ready?
Yeah. I mean, all I was going to say is just I know it's tough this year, but I think that with the year being off, it just makes it that much easier for you guys to make a better product, next year. So.
Yeah, I mean, so you played the first 2 seasons we did out of Dumars and JCC and Canfield.
Yeah, correct.
Do you think that gives you an advantage coming in, that you kind of already know what to expect in terms of a season rather than just a weekend?
Yes and no. I think that knowing the ownership, knowing management, their kind of style of how they did things in the past, I think that helps. I definitely think with the ice guys coming in, I think they have a better advantage with the actual season, because a lot of roller guys just play tournaments, like you just said. But at the same time, I think this is a whole new thing. I think that the way you guys are doing it now, it's very professional and a whole new look. So I think that a lot of guys are coming in, and I think that first year or 2 is going to be new for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the things that we hear are the ice guys are a disadvantage in the beginning, but we think by the end of the season they're going to be as equal or better. We hear the ice guys have no chance at doing anything because we play roller. What do you say about that?
I don't believe it one bit. I mean, some of the best guys that play roller in the summers also play ice pro. A lot of the top guys that play, pro ice play pro roller. So I don't see that as a disadvantage at all. I think that the conditioning wise for ice guys is higher. Being able that they play all winter. But at the same time, roller is a different game. I think there's some rules that were incorporated at the combine, like the offsides. I think that I like it, and I think that it helps those ice guys, and I think that it's going to help the game be faster, more intense, instead of the pure roller, free for all.
Yeah, I played both personally. I mean, I played in the MRH back in the day. I played in all the tournaments. I like the offsides rule as a defenseman. It was a disadvantage not to have it, and to have it made my job easier.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if I'm the floating kind of forward, I hate it because now I actually have to skate to the other end of the ice or the rink. Right. But but you talked about the combine. What'd you think of that? That's where you actually got your training camp agreement from.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I mean, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I thought that it was ran really well. I think that especially for a first year and like the whole coronavirus, I think that from now on, you guys are at an advantage of now, okay, you saw it, what worked, what didn't work. As the games went on, it got more intense. I love the practice with LaRose for sure. I think there's a lot of guys that weren't ready for an hour straight of, 16 total skaters and, him running an actual, he told me it was an NHL practice that he's done, plenty of times. So I just don't think guys are ready for that. And I think that that's good, showing them like, hey, when this season starts, this is for real. This isn't, hey, come to the rink, show up 5 minutes, play a tournament game, and then have some beers. This is a real deal. So I think I like that a lot. And, talking to the management and the scouts and all that stuff, I thought that the games, as they went on, got more intense. I was obviously out for the final game on Sunday, but I know that, I even talked to Cook, and he was saying that the game, combining the teams, made it very, intense, and the competitiveness was a lot higher. So I think that was good.
Yeah, I think the practice was definitely a shock for a lot of roller guys, especially. I mean, I know you played some professional ice hockey, and
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, correct.
And so practicing isn't new to you, but for some of those guys who are pure roller hockey guys, like you said, show up to the rink 5 minutes early. And we saw that the first few seasons when guys who show up 5 minutes early were as the owner of the league going, what are you doing? You need to be here an hour before, get prepared.
Yeah.
And that change and adjustment is something that is a disadvantage for the pure roller hockey guy in the beginning, but I think only makes that player stronger throughout the season. And I think Chad did an awesome job watching you guys. He made me tired watching.
Yeah, like I said, I think that I wasn't, he said, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. We'll see how it goes. But, I mean, it was a straight hour of nonstop skating. And then we went, I mean, the goalies got peppered too, which, like you said, they don't get that. In a tournament game in real pro in the summer, I mean, a goalie, if you have a team that is super into holding the puck, I mean, say like Alkali, they'll get 10 shots in maybe a whole period, and now these guys got 30 shots in 10 minutes, and they're like, oh my God, So I think that they realize that the conditioning is going to be a lot higher as well. Even at the end of the camp, I know Blum made a comment saying, I hope you guys come ready, make sure you're staying ready, because I think the conditioning level of these games are going to be a lot higher than any regular roller game that anybody's ever seen. So.
Yeah, and I mean, we had great talent in the first 2 years, but we've added guys, obviously, with the ability to play in the summer. We're talking about a whole new level of players. Like, we look at your team that was drafted, Kuhn, Hawkins, Zidlowski, LaRose, Milam. Those are all guys that are playing in anywhere from the coast to the American League and or DEL, like Kuhn. They're playing at the highest level, and they're coming in, and they're not turning it off. I mean, you played with Kuhn your first year in the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Cooner came in the last couple games for us, I think, in the season, and then he just, rolled that into playoffs. He, I'll tell you what, that guy's – he even said it like the first season when we were playing. It was like after one of the first periods we were playing B-Cats, like in the playoffs, and he was like, I was like, how you feeling? He goes, it's literally ice hockey. He was like, it's so different from like any roller tournament. Like, he's like, I like it, but it's a lot different. And yeah, Kuhn's unreal. I mean, you go down that list of guys drafted, there's nothing I can't say bad about any of those guys. You even got some pure roller guys like Ryan Perry that he's never played anything but roller. A lot of those, like Hawk, he goes back and forth. But like LaRose and Milam, those guys are pure ice. I think that in the beginning, just the actual skating and stuff like that. But like you said, I think it's pretty easy for a top guy to figure it out and get it done. So by the season's end, those guys will be, unreal too.
Now, obviously, we know everybody knows the secret. Chad LaRose has won the ultimate trophy in all sports, arguably.
Yeah.
Does that give you guys a big advantage having that type of leadership coming in, even though there's other teams that have NHLers, there's some teams that have no NHL experience, but you have this leader as a possible leader, I should say, who won the Stanley Cup. Does that give you guys any advantage, you think?
I think leadership-wise, for sure. I think I play with LaRose. We play out at Fraser, just like summer league, like roller. I played with LaRose a lot. And his competitiveness, you can see it. It goes from we can be, we're messing around, joking around, but we go up to, he goes down a couple of goals. I take a face off against him. I win it. He gives me one extra whack. And then he takes off and scores 3. and you're like, what happened? And it's like, he's got that switch that a lot of guys don't have. And I think that does come from the years in the NHL and having that ultimate win like attitude. They got that little bit of craziness. And I think that he, like I was talking about before with that practice, the way he ran that practice and how intense he was, like the entire time he'd come up to me and be like, you better score, like just like in practice. And it's just like, that's different for a lot of guys that aren't used to that. So
of all the teams, which team do you look forward to playing against the most? You got all these rosters.
Oh man, I mean, obviously all of them. I think that with let's go down the list, right? Port Huron, they're pretty much alkali RPD, right? For us that we're used to. So it's going to be fast, skilled, that game. Grand Rapids is big and tough. I'm excited to see some like pure ice tough guys that are out there and see how well, they can play and see how you hold up against those guys, like battling for pucks and, stuff like that. And then I think it was the other one. Why am I drawing a blank here? Yeah, St. Louis. Geez. So in St. Louis, I think they have a lot of real roller guys too, like guys who grew up with roller, and they're pretty much the snipers, right? Almost. So I think they're the same. I think they're going to have that puck a lot of the game. So I'm excited to play every single team. And I'm just super excited to get going.
Yeah, from my perspective as a fan, not just the present league, I saw the rosters as every team was completely different. St. Louis focused completely on the top defenseman, arguably in the game.
Yeah.
The Yeti were a lot of names that were kind of sleeper names I never really heard of, whether it's ice or roller. And Grand Rapids was okay. Griffins, because that makes sense with the American League team there.
Right.
But toughness, with Grant and
Shiner,
just those two. And then they got Tommy McCollum as the goalie.
Yeah, I was going to say McCollum. I play with McCollum on Excitement. He plays with us. And the first game's always a little bit rough, just getting the roller back. But that guy, he's the same way, the competitiveness, and then the way he plays, and he's so big. I mean, it's different too for roller guys, because a lot of guys aren't used to that big time ice goalie that's, ginormous coming across. He covers the entire net. So and he's so sound too. Like, and Tommy's a big leader guy too. Like when we play together, he's constantly telling you, especially on the PK for me, for Excitement, like, hey, take this guy, make sure you have this guy, I'll take the shooter, just stuff like that. So
yeah, and that's another advantage, I guess, for that franchise to have Grant and McCollum, both former NHLers, and then you got a guy like Shane Bennett who plays roller too, and he's kind of like the John Shivo. He's really good roller, and then in the minor pro, he's in the SP.
Yeah.
Trying to work his way up, but he's a threat in the roller side, maybe more than he is on the ice side. And then, did you play with Alex Brooks too?
I actually played with Brooks just a little bit. Back in like 18s and juniors for 6 feet under with Smolinski. Smolinski's team was 6 feet under, and Brooksy was on that team. It's funny because Smol's like, hey man, you know who that is? And I was like, who? He's like, he played 6 feet under with us. And I was like, oh my God. And then realized he's in the coast now and, doing well. But I played with Bennett on Excitement, so I know him pretty well. And we do that Legends tournament with Georgie in Buffalo every summer. They always bring a team, and we'll bring a team. And so I know them pretty well. And yeah, the skill level it's different. I mean, it's high. So.
Yeah. And then we look at your team, and you have arguably one of the top 5 goalies in the game. Hawks maybe the hardest shot in the game.
Yeah.
Zidlowski, I don't know much as a roller, but at least on ice, he led the Fort Wayne Komets in points. He's a tough guy.
He's a power forward. Yeah.
I mean, you got LaRose, we already know. Milam looks scary. Perry, I'm like I always say, I'm a big fan of Perry.
Yeah.
I'm almost like a schoolgirl sometimes. We're like, oh, it's right, Perry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I don't know much about Fowler, but from what I see, he's got some grit. So your team's kind of balanced, almost made up more like an ice hockey balance type roster. And then you got yourself coming in and a couple other guys on PTOs. So you played pro ice, but what are you going to do, or how's it going to feel when you skate into Fraser opening night? There's 2,800 fans, standing room only. There's Kyle Schultz jerseys in the stands. There's, you kissed me in 5th grade, Schultz. I love you.
Yeah.
Those kind of signs.
Yeah.
How's that going to feel? Because I don't know if you've ever had that type of experience.
No, I think I know guys have, right? Like LaRose and Milam and those guys, I think they have. But I think that because roller is a smaller group, it's kind of more or less like basketball, right? Like you have, like on an ice team, you can be a very good ice player and kind of hide in the team where you're valuable, but you're also a role guy, or you're a guy that's, you're a part of the squad, right? But in roller, it's so dynamic that you could have 2-3 guys that are, at the top of their game and could lead you as far as they can. You do need role guys, but I think that it's more, like I said, there's less guys, right? So if you have 20,000 people to come watch a game, there's only 10 guys. Those are their favorite guys. They don't have 30 players on a team, or, a football team or whatever it is. So I think it's reachable for those kids to see, like Perry or me come through, or LaRose come through, or like, so I think it's easier,
So is that going to be exciting? I mean,
yeah,
they want to meet Kyle Schultz. You're not just Schultzy anymore. You're Kyle Schultz, the legend, is some 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, hands down. To say that I wouldn't be excited to go out and some kid wants to get my jersey, of course I would be. Yeah, I mean, I would act like, I'd keep it calm, but inside I'd be pretty jacked up, and then, get the razzing from the boys when you go back in the locker room of, now he's an all-star. So, you know how that goes.
I could just hear LaRose chirping you now.
Oh,
something like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Perry too. He likes to.
Oh.
We give it to each other. He's one of my best friends. So, I mean, we are constantly that's all we do. I don't think we go a day without chirping each other. So.
Now, is there anybody on any of the other squads that you look forward to playing against, or you really don't want to? Like, oh, God, I got to play against that guy. It's going to be miserable.
I think that as the season goes on, I think that those playoff games and when it gets deep into the season, I think that'll start God, I got to play this guy again. Like, he whacks me every single time I skate. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'll grow, and I think guys will come into their identities of who they are and what they bring, and that. But I think right now, I'm just excited to show people that, especially with the big names, but also like guys like us, I think I'm just excited to show people that roller is something that you want to go watch and see, because it doesn't get enough credit, especially with the ice mentality and a lot of people's perception of what roller hockey is. It's not Tuesday at Dumar's Bronze League, you know what I mean? Or Sunday at Fraser Copper. Like, this is the big time. And I want people to see, like, wow. And for my own selfish reasons, like, I'm a part of this. I was in the beginning and the first real season, and now I'm, like you said, my jersey's in the stands, and that would be, unbelievable.
So what is something about Kyle Schultz that would be interesting to fans to engage with? Your favorite food, your favorite movie, something that is interesting about you?
I think it's just my social skills. I think that I'm very approachable. You know, the kids obviously are the future, like we always talk about. You know, I love all that stuff. I'm skating all the time, like out at the outdoor rink. So I put in a lot of work behind the scenes. And I think that, you know, especially when I play, I'll give it everything. You know, I'll take a puck. I'll do whatever it takes. And I think that I hope to show people that I care about. You know, I live 10 minutes from Fraser. You know, I grew up playing at Fraser. So like this is my town. This is my, you know, where I grew up. So I want people to see like hometown boy, you know, that whole thing.
No, I think it's good. You've always been one of my quote unquote favorite guys. You are friendly. You're personable. We can sit and chat. It's not like I'm bothering you. Some guys, you know, you come across and they're like, yeah. And you're like, you know what? I want to talk to you then.
Yeah, no, I could do this for hours and hours, man. I especially to talk hockey. You know, I think that I'm a guy where I can turn that switch on of intense, and then, you know, I could go have a beer with you after, and I don't even think about it. So
that's awesome. So really the last thing, I mean, you're going to play the Vipers. We know the Vipers are arguably the crown jewel, maybe next to the Anaheim Bullfrogs in terms of roller hockey history. The arena sits 9,600, sold out. You're going to roll into that kind of atmosphere. What's that like? What do you think? Is that? Do you look forward to that, or how do you think that feels? I mean, playing the Red Wings, I would equate them to like the Red Wings of roller hockey. It's one of those type level.
Yeah, and I think that because the fans are so, you know, crazy, I think that it's a hostile environment for any team going in. And I like that. I feed off of that. You know, to sit here and say I'm not, you know, I don't get worked up, I don't get nervous, you know, that's a lie. I mean, I for sure, the nerves get there, the excitement gets there. But as soon as the puck drops, I think all that goes away, and it's going to be a battle. And I think that the St. Louis fans are already, you know, that town has already started. They know basically, right? So I think maybe trickle that down to other cities, you know, like Detroit and, you know, Port Huron. And because I played in Port Huron for ice, and it's a big time. They're pretty crazy about ice hockey. I hope that just, you know, trickles to roller.
Oh, it is. The Yeti already have a fan base that seems pretty rabid, and apparently they sit on the end of the arena so they can just hassle the goalie. So when Kuhn's sitting there, he better bring some earplugs.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not as many guys. It's not as busy. The roller games are a little bit more quiet. So I think the fans are really going to be able to, you know, instead of 4 guys out there, you're going to have 5 at all times. So I think that's how it's going to go.
It's going to be crazy. But all right, man, I appreciate you taking the time today. And it's always great seeing you. Hope you're staying safe and healthy. And
yeah, for sure. You too. Same to the fam.
Thank you. Appreciate it. They're doing great. And besides going crazy, we want to get out of here. But
Same.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, man.
You too, man.